Welcome back to Make It Mental, everybody. What you're looking at now is going to be my comparison for a name brand vehicle versus a what I would call a Chinese knockoff. I bought these two vehicles intentionally because I saw one important detail that I think needs to be pointed out. And as of right now, maybe Traxxas is not aware of such a thing. But originally, when I was out searching for vehicles to buy, I was in the mood to buy another vehicle. I was looking for a larger scale, like 1/8, quarter scale, 1/7, or something like that. Right? I was looking for a larger vehicle. And something struck me that I had to get both of these vehicles, this Chinese knockoff and the name brand. Now, if you have the name brand, this vehicle that you're looking at right here might look very familiar. It is slightly different. I mean, just slightly. But doesn't it look familiar for those of you who might own that particular product? So today I'm going to go through some very highly skilled scientific testing and compare the two, although they are of slightly different scales. Ideally, these would work well in my backyard anyway, because a larger scale vehicle will not work in my backyard, and I don't get out much anyway. I'm so busy, so this is going to be the rundown, and later on I'll make a second video of these vehicles running. Doesn't that look similar? Chinese knockoff. Name brand. You parents out there, be aware of this. One of these, I know you might be on a tight budget, you may not be on a tight budget, but there's some things you should wear out before buying one of these for your children or buying one for yourself. So this one here is obviously a 1/16 scale four-wheel drive brushless ready version, 2.4 gigahertz version, whatever. It's got a 550 size brush motor in there. Comes with a charger, transmitter. Comes basically, this is an RTR, 12-turn Titan 550 motor. Blah blah blah, and some other specs up there. This one comes with the more challenges waiting for you. No, and seriously, I mean, I think they mean you have to repair it a lot. I think that's what that means in English. This one comes with a 390 class big power motor, 220 A class electron stepless speed controller, right? And a 1500 mAh. No, it's not mAh for those of you who say mAh when you make your videos. It's not mAh. That's milliamp hour battery, lithium ion battery. Full drivetrain, right? It's a land buster. This is a fighter. Awesome, right? Awesome. And you get some little details here. So let's get on to the unboxing. We'll start this one properly with a durability test right from the get-go. So here's a look at the fighter, and it's super fast. You know, that subliminal messaging type stuff. Not a bad looking truck by any stretch of the imagination. It looks a little goofy though. I don't know. When I'm looking at it, it just looks goofy. It looks like, I don't know, it looks like this area here is too thin. Around the rear wheel well, it should be, I don't know. I think it should look more like this. Something doesn't look right in this area here. I don't know, maybe it should be more at an angle. It just doesn't quite look right. Wheels look nice. I don't know, they feel pretty solid. They might be aluminum, but they could be plastic. Let's see. Let's do a highly scientific sound test. Plastic. They're plastic wheels. All right. But not a bad looking truck. So let's see what's underneath. 390 brush motor with a heat sink, but look at this. This is the whole reason why I bought this vehicle. This may be hard to discern on camera. There we go. There's a better view of it. Look at that. Isn't that interesting? See, in China, they have no copyright protection laws. And American manufacturers such as Traxxas, Red Cat Racing, Team Associated, Losi, whoever, they have their shit made in China, and then the Chinese, they copy it, and then they rebrand it as their own. Isn't that amazing? Let's see how it works, right? Cantilever suspension. It's not very smooth. There's probably no oil in here. I do believe they claim these were oil-filled shocks. I'm not going to take them apart on camera just to verify there's oil in there, but it's not smooth. Let's just say that. The rear, much more stiff, but because it's a solid axle truck, you do have a degree of articulation. If you wanted to articulate, the track width on the Chinese knockoff is about, let's see if I can zoom in to get a little better lighting there, about 8, and I'd call it 3/4 of an inch, or 223 millimeters. It's the track width on the Chinese knockoff. It does have a unique suspension system that you'd find in crawlers and other off-road trucks of a solid axle design. Wheelbase from nut to nut, an approximate measurements is about 245 millimeters, or about 9 and what are we looking at there? 9 3/4 of an inch approximately. So there's a wheelbase. It's a little bit larger than the Traxxas. Independent suspension on the front, solid axle on the rear, coilover spring metal shocks, plastic housings where the oil allegedly is, digital proportional steering, digital proportional throttle. This is an ESC and receiver all in one package, and we got some extra stuff here to plug in lights, I guess, if you want to do that. And there is your battery tray for the two 18650 batteries that have been wired in series. Looks like a Dean's type connector. Pull out the pin right there, lift this up, pull this out, and this exposes your battery. So then it does appear to be a little bit more room in there if you can find the right size lipo to stick in there. So you got a little bit more room in there, plus a little bit of wiggle room. Not much, but you got more room left or front to back than you do left to right. So there's a look at the Chinese knockoff. Here's a look at the name brand, obviously Traxxas. And again, the only reason I bought this particular vehicle, because I believe, as far as I know, Traxxas has a patent on that particular type of suspension, that cantilever type suspension. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe that patent has expired, but either way, the Chinese don't care about patents or American laws. But already, I'm liking what I see here. This little architecture out back to support this rear bumper. I'm liking that. I like the style going across the body right here. That would mimic a roll cage. The fastest name and radio control. Okay. This is actually my very first Traxxas. And it might be my last Traxxas. I mean, because I've read a lot of articles where the steering servo fails. Now, I am quite capable of fixing a steering servo, but if it breaks within the first battery run, then I don't know, it'll be the last Traxxas. But from all the articles I was reading, it seems like the steering servo is the weak link in this particular vehicle. Nice looking truck. I like the stance on that. It looks like they really copied the real deal here. And I like the offset colors right here. Painting on the body looks a lot nicer. It's a not better looking truck. Whoa, those tires are stiff. Holy crap. Wow, they got like 95 pounds of air in there. No, I'm just kidding. No, they're just stiff. Holy crap. So let's look underneath. Got some cards there. Got a 550 motor. And again, your counter lever suspension. Check that out. Oh, it's a lot smoother. A lot smoother. Wow. Now, they probably actually have oil on this one, maybe. A lot smoother. That's really nice. And see, with this cantilever suspension, you can use a really small spring. That spring is probably no bigger than 5/8 of an inch, but we get a lot of suspension travel because we have a long arm pushing up against a long arm that transmits the pressure to the spring on a short arm, so we can gain a lot of travel that way. And we can minimize the overall center of gravity by keeping the shock lower. Very good design on that part. And they did the same thing on the rear end. So, oh, that's silky smooth, but it doesn't want to come back up. So I don't know if there's an issue there or what have you, but it doesn't want to come back up. It stays down, so I don't know. Maybe there is no oil in it. This particular vehicle by Traxxas does have dual battery trays. This is an old vehicle. As far as I know, this is about 7 years old. Again, this is my first Traxxas. Dual battery trays, one for here, one for there, battery plug-in. So I went ahead because I believe Traxxas intentionally designed it that way for balance from left to right, just as I did my rally car. So you can stick a battery here, a battery there, and get the optimal amount of balance. So I went ahead and bought 2 batteries. Price point on as tested for this vehicle is about $250 with shipping, extra battery, and a balance lead that allows me to run 2 nickel metal hydride batteries at the same time. Do not run 2 lipos with that balance lead or there. Anyway, let me show you that thing. So here's this lead that allows you to run dual batteries at the same time. This is sold from the Traxxas website. It's roughly $8 if I remember correctly. An extra battery is about $22 if I remember correctly. You know, the price is going to change. Taxes are going up. There's no point in, you can always do this search yourself. But an extra battery, oh, check that out. One's slightly bigger than the other one. Fucking even Chinese can't make anything right. That is just slightly bigger than the other one. Check that out. That's what happens when you make everything in China, even though it's an American name brand. You send your shit off to China and have it made somewhere else. So I wonder if these actually have the same milliamp hour rating. I'm sure they 1200, but I wonder if they actually do. I have no way to actually test that, but I did use this to charge both these batteries at the same time with this. You use your vehicle's cigarette lighter, as they used to call it, now called a power port or something like that in some of your vehicles. But so far it looks like Traxxas is winning. You also get extra body pins. Sorry, the camera flipped upside down accidentally. So I had to make sure it was oriented correctly. Some tools, warranty card, and extra stickers for whatever you want to stick them on. And you get a quick start guide here and printed in a nice heavy paper. A lot of small print there. They made sure to use every inch of every space on their paper. It'd be nice if they'd just write the one in English versus all the other languages, but there are several languages in there. There's English, Spanish, and French to say for sure. I did not go through the whole thing. Very nicely done. Makes you feel like you're actually buying something of quality. And here's some advertisements. Traxxas does have a big parts supply for this vehicle and upgrades for this vehicle, which is nice. And like I said, they did say it was brushless ready. So you take out the motor and you replace it with a brushless motor and ESC, because I think that it's got a separate receiver in here, so you have to buy their receiver and their motor. It does not come with an extra pinion gear. The Chinese knockoff also comes with a bag of tools. It also comes with 2 extra pinion gears, so you can change the speed, torque on there. This one here appears to be smaller than the other one. Some extra body clips, as well as the Traxxas did. You also get a owner's manual here. Good luck finding parts for it. I mean, it doesn't have a name brand like Arma or Team Associated or anything like that. That transmitter looks... We'll have to look at the transmitter too. Let's see what the back says here. Electric light is not bright. The electric lamp has been flashing. About the remote control, the opposite. Remote control operation products. Remote control operation product to walk. You know, see, this is kind of shit that doesn't make sense. The remote control operation products to walk. I thought this was a vehicle. Product function of front wheel steering force or not. Am I reading that right? I feel like I'm on drugs or something. The product function of front wheel steering force or not. God, I need a beer or something. It just doesn't make sense. Product power will have after a open and move or walk. I don't know. I'm at a loss right now. I really am. I'm thoroughly confused. The Chinese knockoff also came with a charger, but it came with a European style plug, so I had to take it apart and solder in an American style plug. I didn't have to do that, but that's what I did because I wanted to use this charger actually for a very small battery that I have for my drag car that I'm working on. So even though it came to the United States, it came with a European style plug. I had to add my own plug to it. Be aware that if you're a parent, you don't want to be doing this shit for your child. What you're looking at here is my balance test. This here is the Chinese knockoff, and it is sitting up on a 3/4 inch piece of board. All 4 wheels are up off the ground. And if you're keen to sight, you can tell that the left front wheel leans down a little bit lower, just a little bit lower than the right front wheel. And just to test it out and verify it, I'm going to tap it and see which way it likes to lean. There it is. All the way down to the ground. It wants to lean to the left. So it's not properly balanced. Let's check to check. That's with the battery in. So here is the Traxxas with both batteries in there, as I believe they intended it to be. And it's centered up as best I could on the front and rear of the vehicle based upon a 3/4 inch piece of solid wood stock. And let's just give it a visual. It looks to be pretty close. Definitely much more balanced. Doesn't have a tendency to want to lean one way or the other. It just wants to return to center. Very good for Traxxas. And that's all for today's video. Next time I'll be making these guys run and compare them against each other.